Good afternoon. My name is Zach Whynot, and I manage the team at TriNav Fisheries Consultants. Our team is comprised of individuals with a diverse range of experience within the commercial fishing, aquaculture, and marine-related industries throughout Atlantic and Northern Canada. The knowledge and engagement of our workforce and associates provides us with the expertise to specialize in a number of different services. These include license appraisals, business planning, processing assessments, help with funding applications, policy analysis, and market studies, just to name a few. TFC has completed numerous studies for private industry, provincial, federal, and territorial governments, Indigenous communities, and other non-governmental organizations. Many of these projects have been designed to promote economic advancement and take advantage of new opportunities. TFC's ongoing involvement within the fishing, aquaculture, and marine industries has been positive, resulting in a high level of trust and understanding that will continue to produce success in the future. TFC is a member of the TriNav Group of companies headquartered in St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador. The TriNav Group is a diversified group of professionals involved in the sales of commercial fishing licenses, quotas, and vessels, as well as pleasure craft, design and surveying of vessel types, fisheries management and consulting, seafood brokerage, and publishing of various industry-specific magazines and promotional materials. Today we'd like to discuss with you the opportunities within the fishing industry and how to prepare going forward into the new reality. Over the past year, the fishing industry has endured one of its most challenging times since the cod moratorium of the early 1990s. At that time, the ground fish fishery essentially went from annual landings of several 100,000 metric tons to around less than 100,000 within a few years. And as you can see on the graph that I've put up on your table, up on the screen, starting in 1991, the cod landings decreased, or I should say groundfish landings decreased precipitously, ending up at below 100,000 metric tons by 1994. As a result of these decreased landing, harvesters were forced to adapt and to look to new fisheries to help alleviate the financial pressures. The shellfish fishery became a staple for the industry, one that has continued to show importance even to this day. With the emergence of the coronavirus and subsequent spread throughout the globe, the fishing industry was not immune to the economic impacts of global shutdowns. Traditionally, a large portion of the pristine seafood harvested from Atlantic Canada is destined for export, to be consumed at white tablecloth restaurants or at dining room tables surrounded by friends and family. At its peak, the social gatherings that had become customary, whether at a restaurant or at home, were interrupted as a result of a near global lockdowns. Leading up to the pandemic, many seafood products had been enjoying record or nearly record high prices. And again, as you can see in the table or the figure I'm going to show here now, identifies the crab prices and how much they've increased over the past couple of years. There was a time where there was a ceiling price of about $5 per pound in the market. And we can see that even by 2019, these prices had increased over $9 per pound US. And when you factor in the exchange rate, it's actually even better for Canadian harvesters and Canadian processors, as the Canadian dollar has weakened over the last couple of years. However, as restrictions continued, prices declined, and markets became shut off. For example, lockdowns resulted in nearly 100% of the live lobster exports from Canada to China to disappear overnight. Leading up to February 2020, lobster exports from Canada were on pace to potentially experience their highest levels to date in terms of both volume and value. And again, I draw your attention to the figure on the screen again that shows a comparison between 2019 and 2020 imports of live Canadian lobster into China. And you can see that in January we were outpacing what we had done in 2019. But as the shutdowns were implemented, we dropped off quickly. And in February, we were only a shadow of what we were in the year before. Although there was a significant lockdown and a significant decrease, we did start to be able to ramp those exports back up over time. As a result of these closures, though, supply quickly began to outpace demand, leading to a situation where buyers had no place to sell the product and had to either stop purchasing or significantly reduce the amounts being bought. Global economic turmoil is not a new phenomenon for the fishing industry. For instance, in 2008-2009 economic crisis, prices for certain seafood species also declined precipitously. However, during the months and years following the recovery, the industry was able to reflect and identify new ways to help reduce these large price swings in the future. Being able to step back and look at the threats to your business is an important practice. At the time, roughly 80% of the seafood exports from Canada were destined for the U.S. Canada had essentially placed all of its eggs into one basket, a situation that we all know can lead to catastrophic outcomes. Recognizing the importance for diversification, the industry, along with federal and provincial governments, began to look at other opportunities aside from our southern neighbors to help grow and shelter the industry from these regional fluctuations. As a result of these initiatives, Canada has grown its export destinations to become more diversified in its trading. Just like on a national scale, it is important for individual harvesters or businesses to look to diversify their operations. Carrying two baskets of eggs, if you will, helps to protect against any harm that may come from the loss of one. In the fishery, this could mean having a diversified operation that has licenses in a number of different fisheries, i.e. snow crab, shrimp, groundfish, etc., and not relying on a single species. It can also mean being prepared to ensure that the revenues received from one fishery are maximized through operations that ensure quality standards are high. We must look at these challenges we face not as challenges, but instead as opportunities to strengthen our businesses going forward. Going back to the pandemic, while the seafood industry did experience declines, it remains a strong sector in which to participate. And just like following the financial crisis, the entire sector has looked at and implemented new methods in which to sell its products. One such method has been the emergence of the retail sector and e-commerce platforms. While essentially all eat-in restaurants had closed or were under temporary capacity restrictions, the retail sector, like grocery stores, have remained open. As such, there has been a large uptick in the amount of seafood being purchased from these destinations, because at the end of the day, the world loves to eat seafood. Furthermore, although closed to the public, a number of restaurants implemented takeout services that allowed for customers to receive the same quality meal to be eaten at home. These innovative initiatives buoyed the industry through the first portion of the pandemic. In fact, many sectors were able to rebound quickly from the low prices experienced during the first wave. The importance of diversification is evident throughout the industry, from the harvest to the market. The professionals at TFC are available to help review your enterprise to help identify where you may encounter issues and help you to develop a plan as to how to weather the next storm. Another area that has helped the industry adapt to the current market preferences is the Atlantic Fisheries Fund. This fund was implemented a few years ago to help harvesters update their enterprises to install new and innovative technology to increase efficiency, preserve quality, and ensure premium products are being landed. The fund operates through both the provincial and federal governments and offers up to $100,000 of non-repayable support. TFC has worked with a number of harvesters to help them develop their ideas and assess the business case for their implementation. To summarize, it is important to be prepared for any changes that could occur. Often, by the time changes have occurred, it is too late to implement strategies to protect your operation. Instead, you are forced to play catch-up. By assessing the current state of your enterprise and understanding the risks, you can plan better for the future. You can transfer some of the eggs out of the basket. While change and adaptation can be difficult, they are necessary. Should you wish to discuss the state of the fishing industry or how TFC could help you plan for the future, please feel free to contact me. I appreciate you tuning in and look forward to chatting with you all in the future.